And now we're live. Now we are
Hey.
live. Yep,
Peace.
we are live. How y'all doing? Make sure everything is.
Good.
Let's plug my phone. Yeah,
Oh, man, let me
everything's cool.
light in here.
Now he gets up after I hit the live button.
That's Pot. I
Yep.
love him.
Yeah. So welcome
Man, I
back to
can't get
another
no
show.
good camera.
Huh?
I can't get no camera angles no more, man. That's like my phone about to die, so I had to put it like this so I keep it charged. Forgot about
Yeah,
that shit, man.
you'll be all right. Yeah, once again, welcome to POD. I am your host, Brother Modi. Another show.
Yeah,
Um,
look at my shoulders.
I'm glad. I'm glad to see everybody's in good spirit. Um, we got a good show today. A very good show today. It's a little edgy, but we'll get through it. What's up with y'all?
Pot, your arms are pretty big.
Pot got problems. What's up with y'all? What's up with y'all? How y'all doing?
Good. Good. Pot is dancing. Good. I'm tired. I was in
How was your
Jamaica.
trip? How was your trip?
It was fantastic. I was there for 4 days, 5 days. Um, and two were spent at no, one was spent at a hotel, and then the rest of the time was at a family member's house. Well, David's family. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. Like I wanted to I always said like going to Jamaica, like I don't want to be in like hotels and stuff like that because I can do that anytime. Um
Right.
so it was quite an experience. Nice. We stayed at a really nice house, and but like, things are just kind of different how
Yeah,
they live and stuff like that.
I bet
yeah.
you it's better though. I guarantee you that. Most likely better.
It is a lot of nature. Like I was up in like the mountains and stuff, so it was really, really nice. Like that part was nice, but yeah, the food was really fresh. It's different. Like I came back with like a whole different perspective on so much stuff. Like the shit we take for granted, like the littlest things that we take for granted, and
Yeah,
like our health as far as how we eat and how they eat there, like
Ain't that a shame? Everywhere else they eat healthy, their food is better. Everything here is just modified, experimental
it's crazy
garbage.
because like being over there, I realized that yeah, we eat garbage because like even them. I asked the question to somebody there. I forgot her name. And I said like if somebody in Jamaica is homeless, would they be homeless and hungry? You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
like they have breadfruit, sour sop tree, mango trees. Like you could just pull shit off of. You could just
Right.
eat them.
Right.
Yeah, like so it's like, would they actually go hungry? And
yeah,
yeah, but yeah, you just kind of look at things a
The
little
difference
different.
is everything here is like snatched up. All the available food, they make sure you don't have access to it. They
America's
take all
geared.
that.
It's
Yeah,
definitely geared to like kill you off, pretty much,
yeah, all business
or
wise, all business.
keep you
and,
needing medicine and that
and
whole
Yeah,
convenience. A lot of
yeah,
convenience. Yeah, a lot of
that whole
convenience and
cycle.
making sure things are accessible and quick. So yeah, I can pretty much put that in perspective to know that that they probably don't have a lot of fast food restaurants, if any. You know, when you go to
Yeah,
other
they got
they no,
McDonald's
they
out there.
they do.
they
I
do.
didn't see a McDonald's, but their KFC
Is
was
it
like,
McDonald's or is it McDonald's?
They didn't have that.
no, I didn't see a McDonald's,
No, I said
but
McDowell.
like, oh,
Keep it,
McDonald,
yeah, keep it
no,
moving.
they don't.
Pot being funny. There's no McDowell's. Go ahead. What
I
were
was
you
just
saying
saying,
about
though,
the
because
KFC?
that's Jamaica. So I'm thinking maybe they opened a McDonald's out that motherfucker.
You got
You see that?
problems, boy.
And I didn't even catch it.
McDowell's.
I'm telling you, I'm on slow mo. No, they had. I saw like KFCs. They had like patty places, but their food, like the way they eat, is just different. Like we eat garbage for sure. For sure, we eat garbage.
Yeah. Look at us.
Well,
Ain't
I
none of
mean, it is
us
what it
right.
is.
Like,
We
I
have
think we all got.
access. We just got to make better choices. Let's not
Yeah,
even get it twisted. We are in, realistically and practically, we are in probably the best country in the world. Like you just got to keep
yeah.
it a buck.
That
Um,
that is true. That
yeah,
part is true. But
yeah,
like I'm talking in reference to like them tampering with the shit that we eat and all of that
yeah.
stuff. Like it's pretty fucked up.
How
Like
can how can
it's
you
really fucked
honestly
up.
say the best? I'm sorry, Joey. I'm sorry. I mean, he just. I know
No, no,
y'all
no.
didn't say the best country. I am not buying that garbage. The best
Well,
As
country in the
as
world.
far as
Yeah,
as far as
we're
like
not
I
having
pull
this
up on
discussion.
myself.
We're not having this
You have me
discussion right
pull up
now.
on
That's
myself. I
that's
dare
another show.
you.
I think that's as far
Yeah,
as
well,
like what we have access to and all those
exactly.
type of
He
things.
don't
Yeah,
understand that. He don't understand
yeah.
that. Yeah,
No, I don't want
he
to. I never will understand it.
yeah, he don't understand that. Somebody said, I guess they're saying that's well known. Certain countries don't even approve things we eat. It's illegal, which is
Yeah, that's
true.
very true.
Which is
Whoever
true.
For
said that,
show.
that is so true.
For show.
Now
For
keep in
show.
mind
Let me
that
see who said it.
keep in mind, being here, like I said, on a broader perspective, you have a microcosmic perspective and you have a macrocosmic perspective. This country is probably the best country, most likely in the world. To be here, oh, Coop said that. What's up, Coop? Coop in the
Oh, that's
chat.
Coop. Hey, Coop.
Yeah. To be here, um, educate yourself. You have to be educated to be able to reap a lot of benefits of living in a capitalistic society. If you're not educated and you live in a capitalistic society, it's going to eat you up and it's going to use you. That's just a
true.
fact.
That's
From
true.
what I learned about this society, it doesn't matter what level you on, it's still going to eat you. Because if you do go on this level, that means you got to eat everybody else with that mentality. So no
That's
matter what
called
level you look
capitalism.
at it, that
That
this
is
whole
also
thing here,
true. But
That's capitalism.
yeah.
That's
this
capitalism.
whole thing is designed of destructive manner. Period. No matter if you're successful in it, no matter what you learn in here, this place is a goddamn jungle with a needle on top of it.
That's capitalism. That's it. We live in a capitalistic country. So that is the format. And you either gonna learn how to maneuver through the format and live your best life or get ate the fuck up. There's no gray area about it. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion for another show. Today we're gonna talk about obligations, not obligations in the sense of what you may think, but we're talking about obligations in the sense of, are you obligated to do certain things as a human being? Um, and if you don't oblige yourself in certain obligated scenarios, what are the repercussions of that? Like if you see, in case in point, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I watched a video over the weekend. There was a lady who took a flight on Spirit. I don't know why they were arguing, but she was arguing with an employee of the airline, and things kind of
Oh, I
went left.
saw that.
And the guy, I can
I
kind
seen
of
that
see
too, a
how
few minutes ago.
I can see
Go ahead.
how it could have de-escalated, and I can see how aggressive he was. Far as you say what you say, and then you kind of go about your business. But he maintained an approach to the woman. He maintained his position, and he wanted to exert that. This is a man. This is a man. Now, at some point, people kind of get in between them, and then the female reaches around, she smacks him. Okay, she was wrong. But with that being said, the guy loses it. Now he wants to literally beat the woman up. And he gets a hold of her. They, have a little scuffle, and then people kind of intervene. Now there's a brother who gets in between them and he's like, look, you ain't gonna fight no woman. You're not gonna fight a woman. So, they have words. Then the dude is like, I'm a man. Hit me. If you want to fight, hit me. But I'm not gonna stand here and watch you beat up a woman.
Did he
Yeah.
hit the man?
No, he didn't hit the man.
No,
But
they just
but
talked. That could have been a serious
yeah,
that could have been
yeah.
serious. So that most likely wasn't going to happen, regardless if he didn't want to fight or not. They both knew that if someone touched someone in that predicament, it's going to be it's going to be a long day, and cops and everything else. So
I
I think they did
mean,
the right thing at the same time. I think it was better off that it happened. It ended the way it ended. But go ahead,
well,
Trey.
the question
Oh, I didn't
is
see all of
no,
that.
but the question is, of course the sister was wrong, but the thing is, the brother that jumped up and intervened to make sure she didn't get beat up, because he was gonna fight her like a dude. The question is your obligation of when you see something of that magnitude, do you step in? Or if you don't
Yes,
step in, what are the repercussions of you engaging in that? And what are the repercussions of you not engaging? And that's just one scenario. We're gonna get into a whole myriad of things where you question, what we call moral obligations. You got parent obligations, you got being a productive citizen obligation for us working and paying bills and stuff like that. But you got different levels of obligation, and we're going to talk about ones that you have a choice of: do I oblige or do I don't? And we're going to we're going to get into that. So let's go ahead and roll
That's
our
a good
credits.
topic.
Roll our credits and
Yeesh.
do what we do.
That's something I have to think.
And we are back. Let's give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat that's tuned in right now. If y'all have any questions or feedback, please feel free to respond, send us a message, engage the conversation. We like that. But peace to everybody that is watching. Yeah. And on Facebook, sometimes people make comments and we can see the comment, but we can't see who sent the comment. So if you don't have a picture by your name, then just type in there who you are so we can give you your shout out when you throw your comment in there. But yeah, so obligations. Do you feel like in that type of scenario, do you feel like a brother is he obliged or obligated to intervene? And I want to hear, if you do intervene, what could possibly happen? If you don't intervene, what could possibly happen? And how that make you feel as a person? Not that there's anything written that you have to do X, Y, and Z, but how would you feel as a being, as a person, not obligating yourself to intervene in certain situations? And keep in mind, intervention can be on any level. It doesn't have to be you physically doing anything. It could be a matter of a phone call. It could be a matter of you, going to, passing on a message, whatever. But intervention is intervention on many different levels. But with this airport situation, do you guys feel like if you were in that situation, observing, do you intervene? Do you not intervene? And if you do intervene, on what level would you intervene? Let's start with you, Joe, since you're, the lady of the house.
This is tough. This is really tough.
Why?
Because I have this thing. I have this thing where, like, when I was in nursing school ages ago, the instructor said, she gave an example of how I think at a baseball game somebody was like either choking or something, and
I know where you're going with this too.
and they saved the person's life. However, in saving that person's life, they cracked a rib.
Right.
And that doctor or nurse or whoever got sued by that
Right.
person for cracking their ribs. However, they saved their life.
Right.
So for me, it's just, I think with me, if that click goes off in my head, like, fuck it, I'm gonna just suffer the consequences, then I might intervene, like, yo, like, you know, maybe pushing her off or something, but it just would have to be that click that goes off, because I've honestly, thinking about it,
Yeah, I was
like,
about to say, if you thought about it, then
thinking about it, I would probably maybe try to call the police or something, or
which is intervention. On my way, that's intervention too.
It is an intervention. Yeah. On my way back from Jamaica, we were like in the first row. Like as soon as you get on the plane, that first row, we were like there. And there was this one young lady on the other side of the aisle, and she was cursing this old lady out. I think the old lady must have been like 80, 90 years old. I don't know.
It was a black lady?
It was a black lady, but the girl was black too, but she was like, you know, and she was like, she's telling her, "You're a mean old lady. You're moving your hand away from me. Like I have the cooties and this and that." And but like, she's going off on this lady, and I'm looking over, and David had to tap me because I was going to say something to her like, "Yo, like that's you being disrespectful." But anyway, as she got up, she's bumping everybody trying to get her stuff. So I said to him, I said, "You back up," because obviously she's in a rush, and he's like telling me to shut up, because she's acting an ass. But it just depends, some things I could stay quiet for, but some things I'm not. I don't give a fuck who it is. Like, I'm not really gonna be quiet, and he's like, you're gonna make a problem. Next thing you know, you'll be all going viral on the internet. And I'm
they'd
like,
be kicking
I'm
you
not
off the plane.
viral. Like, she didn't turn around clearly, but you're knocking people over. Anyway, all that to say, I think that click would have to go off in my head, because thinking about it now, I would say no. And as aggressive as the man seemed like he was, and I get it. Like, to me, I have this thing, like, I wouldn't put my hands on a man, because if that reflex comes and punches me in the face or something, I can't, not condoning a man hitting a woman. However, women sometimes we have this thing where we kind of like, yeah,
it's a fight. You can't win. Don't tap the monster. You already
don't
know.
Poke the bear.
But they feel the bear. That's why they do it though. But they feel like there's a code, so they feel like they can get away with it from the code, from past experiences with other. You know what I mean? So it's like they feel like there's something to lean on when they put their hands up against a man. Like, oh, this man ain't gonna hit me, because he know if he do, he going. You know what I mean? It's like they got that deep down inside. I'm just saying,
some people, because if my dude is like, Joe, enough, like,
not you, it's not you, not you. That's some compared to majority is a whole different, like, that's a small percentage, you know what I mean? So,
because I go off too. I go off too. Like, when I'm like, I don't just let
somebody touch you,
but I know when to shut the hell up.
She provoked it though. She provoked him to hit. She kept hitting him though. She kept swinging at him. And the more he talked, he was getting angrier and angrier until it finally bursted his anger. Because he wasn't doing that at first, but she kept on. You know what I mean? She kept on and kept on and kept on, and he talking, and she, you know what I mean? So it kind of fueled it. Her keep trying to hit him until she finally hit him. It fueled it, and the
problem is with people, they don't know when to, like, females.
No, they know when. They
don't know when to stop. Like, because she didn't even have to, like, as they were in between, she went around and she hit him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody was already blocking, and she went around and swung and hit him.
Yeah,
so,
she did.
Technically speaking,
that's what I'm saying.
Anybody, if somebody did that to me, I would be enraged, like, ready to go off. Like, so.
Right.
not giving him. I'm definitely not giving him a pass because I don't condone like men doing that to women. However, like as women, oh God, and I know I'm gonna probably get backlash for this, but as women, I think I'm
gonna
not
black
saying
flag.
that not to go off, or you know what I'm saying, like because we do. We sometimes we have to go off, but at the same time, like it's not our place to challenge men. Like you're not a man. Like
Not to that level. It's
it's
part
not a
conditioning.
battle that you're going to win.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
part. Yeah, society has conditioned a lot of women to feel like there are repercussions if a man crosses that line, and they have protections in place. It's almost like whooping your kid back in the day. You got your ass whooped. Now they've given children a means of, well, if your parent whoop you, there's shit that the kid can do to get to the parent now. So there's things in place where a kid can push the envelope, consistently push it and be disrespectful, knowing that there's things in place to, and I think some women have that psychology of knowing that they're gonna go and push the envelope. Coop, I think this was Coop. Coop said dude was holding him back, but she was trying to go over him and get licks off. Stop trying to act like you're a man fighting men, and then
exactly
when
what
men,
I'm saying. Whoever
get
said
to
that,
you a victim. So yeah. I mean,
exactly
I agree.
what I'm trying to say.
I think in that situation where I would intervene or have to intervene. Yeah, Coop said that. That I'm not gonna sit there and watch a man beat up a woman. I'm not gonna watch a man just with his level of manhood and just beat up a woman. Like just all the way in. All the way in.
Just wait. I got a question.
I'm not gonna sit there and watch that.
You have to be aware of your surroundings as well, depending on.
I mean, I'm about to say. Go ahead.
Oh, that's what you were gonna say. Yeah. In this case, well, I'll let you go ahead.
All right. First, we gotta go with the obligation thing and responsibility and stuff. In my opinion, I'm just saying. In my opinion, anything that you lay your eyes on becomes short of a responsibility. It doesn't mean you have to engage in it or anything. And everything, it has its weight. You know what I mean? Like when you look at a situation, sometimes you have to look at it as could there be a death involved in this situation? Can you get hurt involved in this situation? Because you got responsibilities anyway. You got your own personal responsibilities, and you go home. You could probably have a wife and family and shit. Why would you want to engage in something to get your ass decapitated? You know what I mean? So sometimes you got to look at it from a good perspective, though, and that's a time. There's a time frame into how you respond to things, and that's the key part. Response to what's actually going on in front of you. You know what I mean? Is it worth the response? How fast is the response? How could you wait on it and things could just flat out like dissolve? You know what I mean? So it's like and then if you do get into it, it can be a bigger problem than it was before your ass got into it. And this is all by chance, even though there's ways, there's an obligation of you to make a choice, and we always go by our most emotional choices takes over us. You know what I mean? So we kind of put ourselves in a certain place and react to what's going on. Whatever action is going on in front of us. But are they is a person in danger or something like that? So would you jump into it? But like we were saying, what if let's say you were in New York in an alleyway or something in a bad area, and in a dude, a couple of other motherfuckers back there, you know what I mean, and dude slapped this woman, beat on whatever, and dragging her in the alley, and it's the other motherfuckers back there. How you, as a person that hasn't been there, never been there, how do you act? Do you keep going about your motherfucking business, or maybe make a call somewhere? The circumstances changes how you react, because like I say, you are a living being as well. Do you want to jeopardize yourself for something that's bound to just blow in front of your face and you can blow with it? So it's all chance though at the same time.
Some things are like when I say that click, some things for me are like emotion. I want to say something about that decapitation thing too that you just said. Some things for me are I would know, like if I should intervene or not, if that makes any sense at all. I would, you know what I mean? Like, that's why I said it would have to click for me. Because some things you just kind of see and it's like, oh my goodness, like, you know what I mean? If you're going to put
Yeah.
yourself in danger, it doesn't make any sense. But speaking of decapitation, I had a patient about 6 months ago, and he's my age, got out of his car to help somebody else on the side of the road. A car slammed into him and he lost both his legs. So, you know what I mean? Like in certain situations, you kind of like, he got out to help somebody else, you know what I mean? With their car. And in the midst of that, you lose your legs from trying to be like a, you know what I'm saying? So it goes back to the original story that I said. It's like a catch-22 because in some
damned
cases,
if you do and damned if you don't.
It's a catch-22, yeah.
And I'm gonna explain one of my parts too. When I experienced something like that, and I ain't gonna lie, I kind of jumped out of it. This was about maybe 15 years ago, maybe 16 years ago. I don't know. It was a while ago. It was we was in the back. Me and this female I was with. We were sitting in a car. It was late at night, and a dude had his. I guess she was his girlfriend, or whatever. But he was pulling her, dragging her by her hair, and me and her looked at each other. I was like, "What should I do?" I'm like, I want to get involved, but my ex is not getting involved. It's a relationship. Most likely, she'd probably be mad at me for intervening, and probably still end up with him anyway. And I don't know if this dude got a gun or anything, or how he do his work. So I kind of let that slide and let it go because nobody really. He was just dragging her and shit. So I was like, I guess, you know, I guess I let that go that day. You know what I mean? And you know, nothing happened, no reports, nobody got hurt or anything. So I guess it was a good choice because that's the chance I took without intervening, because I was, you know, taking that maybe I'm more in jeopardy than the whole situation of me trying to jump into that shit.
But it bothered you on the inside, didn't it?
Yeah, hell yeah, it bothered me. But
yeah,
a little bother is just being human too at the same time. So like I said, she was safe. I ain't hear, like I said, I ain't hear no deaths the next day or nothing about anybody or you know, stuff like that.
For men, maybe it's a little like, well, in this circumstance, like if you see a man beating up on a female, like, yeah, I guess it's a little different for you guys. Even though for you know, for women it would be like, what the, you know, like what the fuck. But for a male to watch a female, like, you know, getting beat up by a man or something like that, I think it might be a different, like a kind of a different type of
feel.
Feel. Yeah.
I don't like seeing that shit. I mean, you're right. You have to think in that situation. How many stories we've seen in the movies and just in general how somebody intervened. Like I remember, y'all seen Stand By Me, right? The shit from the 80s. And they were saying how everybody died at the end or what happened at the end with their life. And,
I remember one.
And the oldest one, who was like the leader, died in a fucking he died in a trying to break up a fight, got stabbed in the neck. Like you have to look at situations and factor them in. I think Jay was right. Like there's something in you that would click, that you would
and you know that you have to
that you have to kind of get in. And we're in a society now where a lot of crazy bad shit happens and people are so desensitized, they just pull out the camera and start filming and watching the shit. Like I'm thinking, like what kind of beings have we become where you're watching something bad happen and everybody just pull out their camera and they're recording this shit.
Changed a lot, right, dog? It ain't even emotion no more. It's televised.
I've literally watched a car, the tire blew out and it went from one side of the highway to the other side and ended up in like a ditch. I pulled my car over and I went running, but the other people that got out their car, they were like
camera down.
They had cameras. The ones driving by had their cameras out and they
shit
were like
crazy. It's like the Twilight Zone. It's like the Twilight Zone.
It is crazy. It's
like
really crazy.
Yeah, man. But
got another comment here. I want to say this is cool, but
but we got some more.
Know what the outcome would be. could be life changing for you.
Exactly.
And but in a situation like that, you don't have to physically get involved. Why not just call the police? And
Right.
my thing is that,
You
like,
definitely could.
being obligated to get involved doesn't always mean you got to put yourself in harm's way. Because my thing is, shit, if our tax dollars are paying for the police to handle to run towards the bullshit, then I'll just call them and y'all get your asses out here and go towards the bullshit and deal with it. Like, and I feel better doing that versus putting myself in harm's way, because I done seen a lot of crazy shit. But like I said, like I'm with Joe. It'll have to click for me to.
It will have to click, and sometimes you, like, if you call the police might get there how long after, you know what I mean? Not to say that you're
might
some
be too late.
savior.
Might be too late.
Right, but not to say that you're some savior or something. But what if, like, when that click goes off, what if something that you do can actually de-escalate and maybe cause other people to just say, like, where it's not just you trying to help somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or not even help them, but just separate the situation.
Because if something happens, and that person loses their life, and you standing there watching this shit, never intervene, never do nothing
anyway.
That's like, damn, how do you go on in life knowing this person
just thinking that you could have, you could have. Yeah, you just gonna be thinking about I could have, but it's not your fault. But you could have. Like, our conscience is gonna beat the shit out of us. Yeah, it's gonna beat the fucking shit out of us. Yeah, for sure.
And it's so crazy because, like, when going back to this plane issue, when I was on the plane and I'm telling David to, like, back up some because clearly she's in a rush, it was pretty much like, bump him again and I'm gonna fuck you up, like that type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, so it's more so on his beat, like on his, you know, and getting him out the way, protecting him, like, type of thing. But in some situations, like, you just, I guess you gotta, if that click, if it clicks, like, you just have to know.
It's a tough one.
It is tough.
Let's switch gears a little bit and move from, like, physical altercations over to scenarios with people that are, like, in your circle and things may be going on, and you know, do you intervene? Do you not after the fact? I'm gonna give an example. I had a close friend. Actually, he was on one of my first podcasts when I first started doing podcasts. But he was also a client of mine. I was cutting his hair since he was, like, in high school. So he was like a little brother. I was cool with his mom and his family and all that. And you know, long story short, I get a call one day. I'm at the park with the fam. I get a call one day from his best friend. And he never calls me out of the blue like that. And he calls. And when I pick up the phone, and sometimes I have hindsight on shit before having any information. So when I picked up the phone, I didn't even say hi or anything. I was like, who died? Who's dead? That's what I said to him. And he was like, how you know? And I was like, I don't know, but I know. But the fact that he said how you know, I knew somebody was dead. He just confirmed. And considering who it was calling me, it was like a no-brainer of who was.
Right.
So without him saying it, I already knew who it was. And long story short, when I was able to sit down with his mom, because she only called me and maybe two other individuals to the home to have a private conversation. And in that private conversation, we got into a person's lifestyle and what goes on and what you don't know and shit like that. But mom thought me and the other two individuals knew all of this. And I'm like, hell no. I don't know none of this shit. I'm in shock. Because her thing was, as friends, considered family, why y'all didn't do anything or intervene or blah, blah, blah. And we're like, we had no fucking idea.
Right.
The funny thing is, now that she's explaining all these events and all the shit that went on, all the things that I've witnessed over the years make sense now.
Makes
like
sense.
Certain shit you just kind of brush over, like
hindsight, 2020.
But now it makes sense. All the little weird shit that went on Okay, that makes sense. Now that makes sense. Okay, okay. It ate me up because I know for a fact, had I known, I would have intervened. I don't know if I would have been able to stop the outcome, but I would have felt better that I did my part. Because you can't really stop the ultimate outcome on what's going to happen.
True.
But part of what may happen may be you intervening, and you may be preventing it happening in the first place, because that's a part of the whole situation.
Right.
But it bothered me because it still kind of bothers me, because it's like, damn, had I known, I would have did my best. And probably made a difference. Maybe it wouldn't have made a difference, but I would have felt better had I known, and I didn't know. And so in life, you have people that you know that are close to you. At what level of intervention, if you do know, because we can't speak on if we don't know what we would do, because you can't do shit if you don't know what the fuck is going on. But if you do know, are you obligated to have a level of intervention, or do you say, you know what, that's not my business, I'm gonna let that be what it is? Like what do you do? Are you obligated to intervene? And this is nothing physical. It could be physical. It could be physical where, people could be in a domestic situation where they getting, domestic violence and some shit like that. But yeah.
I know I sound like I have so many stories, but I do. And I think the stories have taught me to be how I am today. I had a friend, and like we were like really, really close. And I told her something that like her boyfriend like tried to anyway. And I told her, and she never ever from that day on never ever talked to me again. Never ever talked to me again. So I'm very, very particular about what I get involved in and what I intervene in and all of that stuff. However, if it is
that does happen. Yeah.
Huh?
I said that does happen.
It happens to me. And
they turn around and get mad at your ass.
Like, and I'm saying to myself,
they think you trying to fuck them. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying to myself, like, I'm thinking I'm being a good friend. Like, I don't want this guy. You know what I mean? I'm telling you what he tried to do. And, anyway, she never talked to me again. So I'm very, very particular about what I intervene in. Huh? No, she wasn't. I mean, when you're younger, you don't realize that. I was like, I shouldn't have said nothing, but then me trying to be loyal and, whatever. If I knew the outcome was going to be like that, I probably never would have said anything. But who's to say if it would have went any further? You know what I mean?
I got a question
where for you. I was being harassed.
Go ahead.
I got a question for you.
You got more, Joe, before he?
Yeah.
No, it's for her. It's actually for her.
Oh. What's the question?
All right. When she stopped talking to you, how did she respond when you said it to her, first of all?
She got quiet, and I guess she got on the phone with him, and I don't know what he said to her.
He probably told her a whole different story,
and she probably other stuff. Probably, I don't know what she told me, but she never spoke to me again. Never.
That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. That's what happened. Yeah. He told her he probably ruled that relationship and had power over that. So whatever he said to make her not talk to you no more and everything, but it was all you trying to mess up some happy shit.
She never talked to me ever again. If I knew then what I know now, I would have minded my own damn business and said, you know what?
You still talk to her?
Let me get away from. No, she never talked to me again after that.
I'm
friends for years.
That would be nice to go in contact and say, whatever happened that day she probably won't talk to you again for another 100 years.
Care enough. I don't care enough.
Yeah, we'll bring that story back around. We'll bring that story back around. So, in situations where, let's say it pertains to like a person's well-being when it comes to like their health or some shit like that. Like how far do you go and to
That's what I was gonna say after I brought that up. Like if it's concerning like health or something like that, like I would try to not really be a mentor, but I have a way of being like a pain in the ass where I'm just kind of like, hey, it's me again. Hi.
Yeah,
Being
You know, like
yeah.
consistent.
that type of thing.
I think we
Being
all
consistent.
are like that, though. I think we all are
Yeah.
like that.
So, I mean, and it also depends on how much effort I put into a person, depends on how much care I have for that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not saying like what the energy I put into the people that I care about is not the same energy I would put into my like a coworker or something like that. Like, you know, you would care, but
Because
I'm
you
not going to
got
be
different
riding
you
them.
got different levels to your circle. So those who are in your
Yeah.
inner circle, they're like family. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
and my thing is this: you have to question what is your worth to the person if you can't even, be
You
100
have no
with them.
worth.
Right.
You
Like,
have
why
no
are
worth.
you around? Like, what is your worth? Like,
Right. You have no worth. I remember just staying back to that, somebody that I was involved with drinks a lot of alcohol, for instance, right? Just to the point where it's health, you know what I mean? Like it could be a problem in the future. And you, like you said, you could be annoying and nagging. It's like every time when that person came up with something great or something in the future to work out this and work out that, I always threw that in the like pow, just threw it in monkey wrenched it. I'm like, how you gonna do this and that if you're still doing this shit? After the conversation, like I ain't never heard of a person from being an alcoholic to becoming successful. You know what I mean? Being a straight up alcoholic 24/7, becoming successful, doing crack cocaine 24/7, and becoming successful. I heard of it the opposite way. I heard of being successful and then becoming a crackhead, or being successful and then becoming an alcoholic. But I never heard of somebody under the influence, heavy influence, having time to be successful. So it's like, every time when she say some stuff like that, I will always have to bring that up. Like, but you're still drinking alcohol.
But you're still smoking crack.
And that used to blow the whole shit up, argument, fight, and I'm out of there for a little bit. You know what I mean? But that's what it was. It's like that's how annoying you can become against, because that is the thing that's stopping them from living out their dreams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And there's levels with different people. Like the way that I would, like, let's just say if it was my mother, the way that I would approach my mother and talk to my mother, like she's more of a calm person, and so I would have to try to kind of relax myself and talk to her in a calm nature. But then you have other people where you're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you know, you can kind of,
Right.
you can
just
gauge
levels on how you
how you
can,
deal with them. So,
right.
and that's important. It still goes back to, and I feel like when you are in service to humanity, especially if you're an empaths have the ability to feel others people's pain. It affects them. Like they
Yeah.
can literally, they can feel the situation, and they can almost, to a degree, it sounds a little spooky, but they can kind of take on that, whatever it is. So empaths have to be very protective of their energy and who they give it to, but they do have this empathetic thing where they want to help everybody.
Yeah.
And you can't help everybody, but I feel like for me, I have to strategically figure out a way, if I'm obligated, and I feel like I'm obligated because of my purpose here with certain shit. But that obligation is broken up to a certain degree on how I'm going to intervene. And maybe it's just having a conversation. Maybe at some point you got to get physically involved. Maybe at some point you just got to make a phone call and have the police get involved. Maybe you need to, some shit's going on, and I'm creating a scenario, but you might have to just, let off a shot to break up the situation and everybody scatter. It all depends. But the thing is, self-preservation is key. You got to protect yourself first. Putting yourself in
that's
harm's
why
way to help somebody else. But here's the catch. Let's go a little deep. Here's the catch. What if that's a part of your destiny to get involved in that situation, and this is how you're supposed to leave this place?
Why did I know you were going to say that?
Because it's one of the things
destiny.
you can't get around that shit.
But I'm about to hit you on this one though.
Go
Well,
ahead.
destiny isn't a decision really. Destiny it runs into the unknown. You know, destiny is still part of an unknown segment, a subject, whatever you want to call it, because destiny leads where it leads. You not doing it could have been your destiny. It's the same damn thing. It's the same,
It
but the
is.
thing is,
It is the same damn
so
thing.
wherever it leads you, it leads you. You know what I mean? Whether you do it or not, there, your destiny
The click.
give you a path, and that is your path. Whatever you said, like you said, whatever you decide was your destiny anyway.
Exactly. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
saying the
So,
same thing that I just said. We're just using the term.
oh
The
damn,
term destiny is placed on it, but you said exact because your destiny could be not to get involved in that situation
right,
because you didn't. You're proof to the pudding that you wasn't supposed to get involved because you didn't get involved.
right.
So
Only
it's the
time
same
when it hurts,
shit,
the only
you
time when
know.
it hurts is like when a person do something and they get a big benefit out of it, and you should have did it. You had the opportunity before them. That's a sucky destiny right there. I'm talking
It's
about like if
sucky.
somebody win a million.
I've been in those situations, man, where it's like that shit could have changed your fucking life, like sent you in a different, very prosperous direction. But you got to look at this too, and we had this conversation. Some people are not here to be like that.
Millionaires and all that shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
they're
are
not here
here.
to be. Yeah. I mean, that shit sounds cool for everybody to be rich and
Right.
all this, but everybody is not here for that. And sometimes we look at it as, well, why did the fucking drug dealer or the scumbag gets all the fucking money? The asshole gets all the money. You got to understand, like, they have their reasons for being here and acquiring wealth. Like, we got this thing where we feel like, being filthy rich and
It's
acquiring a
something.
bunch of shit is why we're here. And everybody got different paperwork on why they're here.
Right.
You
So
know why I've come to terms like with saying to myself, well, I still don't say because I maybe I was wealthy in my past life or something, but I always feel
could
like,
be,
yeah,
Shit.
I probably was.
could have
More
been.
than likely, like if y'all only knew, I probably was. But I
Mm.
I
Got me
don't
thinking
think
about all
like
kinds of stuff.
if I
But
was wealthy now, like if I was like a wealthy woman,
She
I
about to say you got
probably
to think.
wouldn't be doing what, like, I would work, but I probably wouldn't be doing like what I'm doing now. Like I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want
well,
to say almost like a healer, but I mean I am a healer, but you know what I mean? Like I love, but I probably wouldn't be doing that if
I have a
I was.
theory. Yeah, I have
I
a
wouldn't
theory.
be.
what is your theory,
What's your
Sir Lance?
theory? What's your theory?
I mean, Black Sir
Like if
Lance.
you were like if you were wealthy in your past life and you came here and you're not wealthy in this one, but you're well off, you're good. Your needs are being
Or
met.
maybe in another dimension. I feel
That's the
like.
same. It's the same thing.
Well, what is
Oh
your
yeah,
wealth?
same. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What? Yeah, I mean, what do you call wealth? Now, that's the big key right there. Because even in your past life, your wealthiness could have been your rich personality or your something special about you instead of the fabrication. You know what I mean? So
Well, we're
No,
talking
yeah,
about
an opulent
monetary
lifestyle.
wealth. Yeah, we're talking about monetary
Yeah,
wealth.
opulent
well,
lifestyle, like
Yeah,
drivers and maids
yeah,
and chefs
monetary
and things like that.
money,
Like yeah,
moolah,
yeah,
greenbacks,
like
skin
money,
down,
money.
buddy. That's what we talking about. But I have a theory that if you were, at some point in your past life, I think you get sent back, you get taken care of in your present situation, and I think you're here. Even if you acquired it here, you have the spirit of just wanting to give most of that shit away. That's kind of like how I am. If I had it, I'm gonna give most of that shit away to people. That
You
I
know, it's so
mean,
crazy. Like I
some
have a
people won't.
whole. I
I need
have
some
it.
clippers, dog. You send me some clippers in the in the mail when you get a chance. I know you have
It's
many clippers, so you can send
it's
some
not
clippers.
on my vision board. Like I have this vision board, but it's not on that. But I have this book, like where it says on it says like dreams come true or something like that, and I have a whole plan of if how much money and what I would do for each person in that the breakdown of for each individual person,
Yeah,
specifically what type of thing, what contracts people have to sign, because I'm not giving you something you coming back to me 2 months later you
yeah.
for more, you know what I mean? Like I have it
You're
all
right.
mapped out and planned out. Like,
And but here's the thing: that's a I call that a spiritual slash moral obligation that you have for your fellow humanity, regardless of what level they're on, because they could be close to you, they could be strangers. That's an obligation. That's a spiritual or just a human nature obligation. But here's the thing, you know, take people that acquire all this stuff and they help these people, and those people who you help, that money was a fucking green light for them to go straight to hell with it.
damn.
They took the money.
True.
Now
True.
they can buy all the drugs they want. Now they
True.
can drink all the alcohol they want. Now they can, gamble and be in
So
debt to the
Howard,
mob and shit. And the mob just off these
And,
niggas. And then you find out the $1 million you gave them put them in that situation because now they can feed all their vices. All that shit that they was into. Shit, I got money now. I'm really about to be out here high
and
road.
because of your generosity, because of Joanne's generosity or Dre or Pot's generosity, and being so kind to give something to the wrong person, they just
No, that
fucked
was
up
the right
somebody's
person.
life.
They was the right
no,
person.
The right
you did it
person, but they
wrong. You
just
just
fucked
did
up
it
their
wrong,
life.
I think.
You took place in
Yeah,
fucking
true.
up their life.
But you didn't really fuck it up. And
Right.
this goes back
It's
to what I
written.
was
It's
saying.
already.
This goes back to
Yeah.
what I was saying. This
What
is
It's
why
up?
already.
Oh,
certain
go ahead.
people
Go.
are. This is why certain people are not wealthy, because it's gonna feed all their demons.
Right.
This is why they're here to fix that shit. They not here to have a fucking $1 million with a bunch of demons. Most people we know, famous or personal, that had a lot of demons who came into a lot of money, motherfuckers is dead or in jail.
That's true.
But you gotta think about this too, though, man. In some respect, from my perception of money, I don't think money has any place in the universe. I just don't believe that it has any significant. It doesn't even exist. That's how much I don't believe in it. I just believe that it was a fabrication that replaced what actually exists,
Yeah,
and
it's a barter system.
it's like everything
It's
that
like I
you
give you
earn
a
from it.
pencil, you give me a
Yeah,
marker.
yeah, but it has nothing. It don't grow. It don't belong. It's like the whole concept of it is something that was made up like for a game or how to do this and how to do that, but it really has no place. There's no connection to
It's all
life.
like Monopoly
Money,
money.
I was
yeah.
just about to
So
say it's real life
yeah,
monopoly. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
the monetary system that we have now was actually put in place of our real system when we were backed by gold and silver and things that had value. They took us
right.
off the shit that had value and put us on paper money or paper currency. That was
And
the
it also
con
like,
job. So prior to having the gold and the silver, because you gotta understand, back in ancient times when our ancestry had gold and silver, it was something to have, to adorn your body with, and to have, and it was pretty and it was nice. But
Right.
niggas wasn't killing motherfuckers for it. It was like, damn, I found a rock, but it's a diamond. They don't even fucking know it's a diamond. It's just a fucking rock. That's pretty.
yeah,
I think I'll put it in my headdress or some shit.
yeah,
Like that's how we looked at things. Man came along and put value on shit that comes out of the ground and it's just the fucking mineral. It's just, it's
Right.
a fucking rock, a
Right.
pebble, or a mineral or resource. They put value on that and made it what it is today. But when you look at the fact that most of the shit that people acquire with money ain't really, it's
well,
not really valuable. It's not really valuable unless they diversify and put most of their wealth in things that have value. If the dollar ever goes up in smoke, which it will one day, what happens to all your fucking wealth? It goes along with it. So you
right.
have to get things that have value, and that's why we if you had land, if you had fucking cattle and shit like that, that was real fucking value. This nigga got 100 sheep. Shit, them niggas is rich over there. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you my daughter. You give me 20 sheep, nigga.
Man, nigga, that's crazy. Yo, but you know what it did too? It also replaced love. It also, like, people only do things for money now, only involved with people for money. And even when a person die, everybody's concerned about money. So nothing really is more important. It leaks through money first, like the
Ain't
care,
that fucked up?
the connection. Like if a person die that don't have none, nobody gives a fuck about them. If a person die that has a lot of them, what can I get out of them? Or somebody, you know what I mean? It's like money replace love, man.
It's capitalism.
It killed
It's
us,
so
man.
fucked
We don't
up.
even
It's
think
so
straight
fucked
without
up.
it. We don't even think right. It's now in our DNA. Now, if a
Because
person
you can have no money today, and nobody give a fuck about what you're doing, if you're eating, if you're whatever have you. Tomorrow
anything,
you
not
wake up
everybody
a
can.
multimillionaire, and here come people out the woodworks. Like
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
gives a shit.
And then when you die, they care too because they feel they can get something out of it.
And
You
these are
understand what I'm saying?
and they treat these as obligations. Like people feel like you're
It's fucked up.
obligated to look out when you have a lot of money. Which
Right.
to be honest with you, I agree. If you've like somebody, I don't know if like one person hit the fucking what the fucking lottery was like $1 billion. I think one
That went right back into their pockets, dog. That shit, I don't even believe in that shit. That shit right back into
somebody got paid. But here's the thing.
fake
You know
individual.
what? You know what? You know what? You know what? You know what? That's a good theory to get into. We ain't gonna get into it now, but that's
Right.
a good theory.
I'm
You
with
can
Pop.
run it. You can run up the bag, have everybody buy tickets and shit, right? And then really, nobody really won that shit. The person you said that won don't even fucking exist, and the money just
Yes.
went back in the fucking pot. Like I can't see them
Exactly.
giving a nigga $1 billion in the lottery. It's
Yeah.
insane.
And that's why they say you could. That's why they use the word you could. You could doesn't mean you can or you know what I mean? It not can, but you could opens a lot of windows. Like somebody said, I could come over tonight, but I'm not. I could give you
Yeah.
$3, $5, $6, $8, $9, $10, but I'm not. No matter
Yeah.
what you do, I could give it to you or I'm not. So they use certain words too
Yeah,
to keep it.
it's a con job.
Yeah.
It's a con job,
So,
you know.
so
But
they
you
can
know,
get away with it.
my man Pablo Chalk, welcome to the chat. He said that's because we live in a monetary society. Morality goes out the door. So yes, you know,
Absolutely.
and he's right. And I think at some point, we're gonna have to face reality when that means of exchange is not there anymore. Let me go ahead
Well,
and
when
run
it's
a
destructive state, because it's gonna go to its destructive state as it's going now. Because when you
it has to.
when you
It
put your
has to.
soul
Yeah, it's
into
going to.
nothing, when you put yourself out there for nothing, you get back really nothing. You know what I mean? So we worshiping.
We got to turn the
Nothing.
corner on that. We have to turn the corner on that. And when we turn the corner on that, you know, people going to find themselves in different situations. Let me go ahead and pay some bills right quick, and then we'll get back to this discussion. We got you know, a little ways to go, but yeah, let me go ahead and run this this ad. And we are back. If anybody have questions about cuts and curves, please DM me, send me a message, and I can get y'all the appropriate numbers and things where you can book your appointment. But back to what we were saying, yeah, obligations. I mean, you have to be careful. and you have to think about self-preservation first because you don't want to put yourself in harm's way. But I also feel like, it eats at us sometimes when shit does happen, and after the fact, we sitting somewhere like, damn, I ain't do nothing. Just if you're a decent human being, that fucks with you. And I've been in that situation, and yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't, but you got to be careful. And we live in a world where we're so desensitized. Like I said, shit happens and niggas just pull out their camera and start filming. Like it's very sickening to watch sometimes, because a person literally can be on the ground bleeding out. Like it's the weird, it's like the Twilight Zone. It's the weirdest shit ever.
Black Mirror.
It's it's and it is what it is, but it's wild out here. But yeah, man, I think if you are in a situation where you have people in your inner circle and they're going through whatever they're going through, I think as you being any type of worth to them, you should say something. You should be on them. You should encourage them. Okay, my next question is, where do you draw the line when it comes to how far you would go with people you love when they need help or encouragement or intervention with something? Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? And I don't mean like what Jay explained with the girl and all of that. We kind of, we can kind of figure that shit out when you tell people certain shit and they looking at you like you the fucking problem. No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about, where do we draw the line when it comes to, let's say, somebody we consider family or actual family, and they're in a situation, or they're in a situation, and you're obligated to help because you care about them, so you're going to do what you're supposed to do. But my thing is this: where do you draw the line? Because like Pot said, you can't make a motherfucker stop drinking. You can't. It's going to be ultimately up to them. But doing your part, how far does your part go without motherfuckers not even get mad at you, but without you not overstepping your boundaries? Like, to the point of, let's say Pot got mad and said, you know what? When she go to sleep, I'm gonna go through a wallet or whatever, a pocketbook, and take the money out where she can't even fucking go and buy what she need to buy to get high. Like, is that a boundary? Like, how far would you go to help? Where's the cutoff at?
Damn.
Usually the cutoff is when you realize that my cutoff, I'm gonna just go with my cutoff because I can't say everybody else. But when you keep trying to do something and you see that it's just making things worse and worse and worse, is not, that person really isn't responding in any way, and it comes to a point where you can't even tolerate the person no more. Sometimes you need to get away from them because their energy is destroying your energy, knowing that they're destroying themselves. Like you said, you can feel their like you know what I mean? It's like you feel like you're them. It's like you basically need therapy too. You understand? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, though, it's the truth. I'm saying, when you with some, especially if you're in a relationship and you're trying to make things better for the other person, if they got some kind of addiction and everything, you are actually suffering too, trying to change them and trying to make it better for them. You're not at peace because they're not at peace. You understand what I'm saying? And they're at peace, to be honest with you, because what they're doing is destroying them in a different way. So they're at peace. They love where they at. You can't convince them, but you're suffering from looking on the outside. So you're suffering trying to make everything good. And then it comes to a point where you just got to get away from them. That's my shutdown. You just got to get away from them. You don't even want to be around them because you see that they're going to just drown themselves, and you don't want to be there to see them drown themselves. It hurts you too much, and you're tired of taking on their energy. That's my example.
Yeah, Pablo Chalk said, I think that it's a bit relative to however our relationship is, which is true. And that goes back to what Jay said, depending on who it is. Like she said, how if she's dealing with something with her mom, her mom has a certain vibe. So she has to introduce things a certain way so it's more receptive. And I get that. And I get what he's saying. It's a relative statement. And with it being relative, it actually adds dynamic to the conversation because you get a different view of different scenarios and how you may intervene or may not intervene, because it is relative, because everybody's different. Some people could be just like Pop was saying earlier, can be the sergeant from what the fuck movie was that we was talking about earlier? What movie was that? The sergeant. Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, I love that. That's my nigga right there.
You could be one of them, but it all depends on who you talking to. You can't be like that to everybody, because they gonna turn off. They not gonna fuck with you. You see what I'm saying? If you come extra hard. And
my mother is like a Deepak Chopra, something like that, and I'm more like a Daniel Pina. I don't know if you know who that is, but this guy is like, he kind of motivates people, but he'll cuss you the fuck out in the process.
Yeah.
So I'm a little rough around the edges in comparison to my mother.
Yeah. When it becomes draining to you, you got to let go, and it's just tough love.
You feel it, man. It's like you really need therapy too.
I agree with that, but like,
I got one for y'all too. When I get a chance.
What if it's somebody on drugs or somebody on with mental illness?
That was cool.
Like,
that was cool.
Is there actually like, this is for me, maybe because I love hard, I don't know, but is there actually a line that's drawn in the sand? I don't even know.
Well, the scenario that I gave earlier, that person was on narcotics.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. And but here's the thing. Like I said, that shit eats at me, because it's like we talked so much, and
you feel like you should have noticed.
He didn't want to notice. That's the thing. He didn't want to believe that he couldn't see it. He didn't want to see it.
It wasn't.
I'm just making up shit. I sound like a normal, average person just saying what people thinking, dog.
It wasn't that. Like, when you find out that somebody close to you is on drugs, and you couldn't see it because they can hide the shit so fucking well. The only reason why it made sense when the mom was explaining it is because it explains some of the behavior, but just looking at that type of behavior, it doesn't even equate to drugs at all. They hit it so well, but it made sense after you get all the backstory. But that shit still fucks with me. It's a tough one for me, because like, I think I won't even watch that fucking podcast at this point. I mean, I did watch it, and it was like he was still here when I watched the show. And I captured that, and I say that this is why podcasts are important. And I tell everybody this: we're making a digital footprint that's going to be here long after we're gone. And he was a testament to that, because shortly after that show, he transitioned, and I have it. It's captured. It's there, and it's like Rick's was on that show, and going back and watching that show. I wouldn't watch it for a while. I watched it, and it was therapeutic, because it was like he was still here in his splendor and being a clown and joking and laughing. Like, that's how I remember him. I captured him as he was. Now, everything that went on behind the scenes and some of the stories, I didn't have any type of glimpse of that. But when it comes to drugs or just even health, it goes back to what Pop was saying. Certain shit you'll know because you're supposed to know, and you're supposed to react, and certain shit you're just not gonna know because you're not supposed to get involved for whatever reason.
But the line in the sand, the line that you draw in the sand, like, I don't know if it was like my sister or something. Like, I don't know if there's a line in the sand.
Yeah, I couldn't have a line.
My sister, like, there, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It just depends.
It usually develops into like just always arguments and fighting that person, so you stay away. I mean, I always see it that way. It always gets to the point where the person that care about you the most, that's always trying to fix your problem, is the person you don't fucking want around you, but you need them at the same time. You know what I mean? Sometimes
it'll
it's like,
deplete you. I'm sure it'll deplete you, like to where you're like, because some things get draining. I've been in situations where like you're trying to talk people off a ledge and all types, and it gets draining. But
do you give up? Is the question.
That's the thing, and I'm like, I think I'm
when you give up,
loyal to a fault, because I really don't think there would. There's no line in the sand.
I would not have a line, but and this goes back to like when you look at old school moms, well, just look at a mom, period, but especially old school moms. I don't give a fuck what you going through or how you look. They'll come get your ass out the gutter. They'll fight. They're gonna 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 fight.
Yeah.
They're gonna see the nastiest shit. They're gonna see you. They're gonna see you at your worst.
And but see, you just said the key thing. Emotions also have a place. You know what I mean? Strong emotions and trying to, a woman's emotions will heal somebody. You know what I mean? Like her emotions can actually heal and it'll drag you out of dark place. Emotions have a place. You know what I mean? Logic, emotions, all that stuff have a place. A man's logic, like, they look at you and they say a couple of things and boop, they just walk out of there. If you don't listen, well, fuck. But the woman will stand there and wrap the chains around your hands and pull you out the quicksand with her emotions, her caring. You know what I mean? What's really a part of her. And then the man will come and help her pull you out the chains when he see change, when she see that she's moving you. So he ain't got no choice.
Yeah, Pablo Chalk said unconditional love, and that's exactly what it is. That shit don't have no boundaries. Motherfuckers will come to the ends of the underworld and get your ass and fight dragons and demons and put you on their back.
So you need that, dog. You need that.
Put you on their back, cuss you out on the way on out.
Yeah, with no shoes on.
But the world today is trying to cut that emotion out, trying to eliminate those emotions.
Yeah,
that's true. That's so
I mean, it's true what's going on. The product of us as people today shows that we lack emotions and seeing each other grow and be strong and develop a strong foundation. It's showing that we running away from those emotions now. We're cutting them off. We're putting blindfolds on, and we don't want to see the world in that part. It's like a person offer you $1 million, but I'm gonna give you $1 billion, but if I give you this $1 billion, you accept it, I'm gonna blow up the whole village. You'll be like, I'll take the $1 billion. I just don't want to see the village being destroyed. Just take me far away, but I'll take the money. That's the mentality. They don't want to see the suffering in eye. They want to know that they made a mistake, but they're getting.
They don't see it. It didn't exist.
That's the shit. But I mean, to not get off subject, but that is how. No. You're right. What I'm saying is that's how the shadowy government works. That's how they work. They are far removed from what they decide to do with humanity. They're not going to see the carnage, and they're not going to hang around to get a whiff of the smell of the decay and the death. They far removed from that. It's almost like a motherfucker sitting somewhere far away, controlling your life by a push of a button. They don't even they could drop some shit on you and fuck everybody up, and they'll never get to see it. They just know what happened.
Right. Exactly. So that's the mentality that's being created today. I don't have to see it. I don't have to be emotionally attached to it. I don't have to feel it. But I'm getting this, so I don't even want to take me away from it. I don't even want to see all the suffering and all that stuff, because we're still God inside. We still have that inside, man. It's just they taking it away from us, man. And money is taking that away. I know money is always a subject with me, but money is taking it. It's holding it hostage. Your spirit is being held hostage. It's being hostage by fucking dreams, and it's being something that grants you all things that you think are special. And if you get that opportunity, You'd rather have that than deal with the suffering and your own suffering. So if you can escape your own suffering with this thing that they call power, a lot of people gonna choose that power. I'm just saying, a lot of people are.
And there's repercussions of that, and I think that's why the earth and nature is doing what it's doing. And I tell people to get in tune with what is real and move forward, because all of this fake false stuff, it's almost like something synthetic or something that's not real has a timestamp on it. It's not going to last but so long. We're in the breakdown and the decay of that right now. So you really got to anchor yourself in what is real, and you got to take your shoes off and go out and put it on earth and have that connection with earth. You have to do that. You have to get back in sync with the plants and all this other shit that's going on, because all this other stuff that they've created, this quick microwavable lifestyle that we have that's so accessible, that's like getting butt implants, and then at some point the fucking the bounciness and the shit they put in there just, it fucking springs a leak and the shit leak out and it's all flabby and saggy. Like it wasn't even designed to last forever because it's not even real. So we're dealing with the decay of, falsehood, everything that's been built up. For everybody that's tuning in, I'm going to say what's up, everybody that's in the chat. For everybody that's tuning in, you are watching the POD show. Let's plug it right quick. And like we were saying, yeah, man, it's the crumbling of, what the fuck everybody built up this on falsehood. So you really you don't have to pick a side, but you do have to pick a fucking side. You
kind of do, yeah.
You do have to pick a fucking side. It is what it is.
Sometimes that side is keeping yourself away from harm's way and walking your own path. And that's where it seems like we look like we're going. Like everybody's like, you got the majority that's following this bait, but then you have a lot of people that are just walking in their own darkness, trying to stay away from the I guess the nothingness. You know what they call it, the nothingness. So
to close the show out, I got two things I want to mention, and I'm gonna give a story from the Biblios. I'm not a Christian, but I like some of the parables and some of the stories because they are good examples of man shit. The story of Lot and his wife. And if you don't know, it's gonna be brief. But there was a city, Sodom and Gomorrah, was getting fucking destroyed because man had every type of debauchery that man could be doing. And it's like one big ass club. And in this club, every filthy whatever skullduggery act is going on in this club. God says, you know what? I'm fucking all y'all up. Next week at 2:00. Matter of fact, I'm gonna send two of my homeboys down there to tell everybody. And whoever listens to my homeboys when I send them down, they can give y'all some instructions to get the fuck out. 2:00. It's kind of like the military. When they go carpet bomb an area, they're going to say, hey, we're going to drop the bomb at fucking 2:00, 2 p.m. Have your ass at the rendezvous point out of the bomb blast area. That's it. If you still in the bomb blast area, reverdirty.
Use the going.
So they got instructions to get the fuck out. Who listened? Lot listened. His wife, his family. Of course, there was a few other people. Cool, fine. We got instruction from God. He said, look, pack a toothbrush, get all your sneakers and all that other bullshit. We got to get the fuck out of here. But there's a catch to this. He said, look, when you leave, don't be fucking looking back, talking about you left your wig or whatever the fuck. Just keep walking. Don't look back. If you look back, your ass gonna turn into a goblin. Period. Lot said, cool. I'm going to oblige and I'm going to listen. And his wife was like, okay, cool. We gonna do it. It's a real test when people have to pull away from the falsehood. It's a real test. Now, Lot is obligated to his family. He's also obligated to God. We're talking about obligations here. How far does the obligation go that puts you in harm's way? They got instructions. They're leaving. They're walking out. Carpet bomb. Sodom and Gomorrah is getting fucked up. Shit's on fire. Niggas is screaming. And the instructions were, nigga, when you leave, look straight ahead. Don't look back. his wife, she can't let go. She can't let go of that life, and she's attached. And they're holding hands. She turns around to look back.
He went right with her ass too, didn't he?
Hell no.
Go ahead.
He kept fucking walking.
She turned into a pillar of salt.
Yeah. She turned into a pillar of salt. He kept it moving. Moral of the story is, when you get instructions, because this shit is going down at some point. We have our obligation to our friends and our family and our loved ones. And I get it. Not at the detriment of yourself. Lot said, I love my wife, but I'm not going to put myself in harm's way if you ain't right. I helped you because you're my mate. And when we got these instructions, I gave everybody what the fuck to do. Follow me. I'm your man. Let's go.
Right.
She couldn't let go. And and his obligation to his family was already met, but not at the detriment of the instructions in him. So when we ask the questions, at what level do you get involved in the fuckery? And when it was going down, she looked back. He kept it moving. She perished for that. So we have to understand that when shit does go down on any level, in the street, in the store, grocery, we have to think about certain things. And it has to be, and I get it. We care. If you're not just an asshole, we care at the end of the day. We care. Self-preservation is first. And is that selfish? No, it's not. If a plane's going down, they're going to tell you to fucking put the mask on your face first. Fuck everybody else. Because if you fucked up, you can't help nobody anyway. So, the moral of the story of this show when it comes down to obligation is make sure you straight first before you start trying to help another nigga. That's all I'm saying. Make sure you straight. Like Pot said, your ass gonna need therapy when it's all said and done. Fucking around with other people. And you don't want to have to get therapy behind somebody else's bullshit. You see what I'm saying?
So true. That's so true.
So
I learned in nursing school. I told you that story where the doctor or nurse was trying to help somebody and wound up getting sued. Saved the person's life, but cracked a rib and got sued.
And you know what? That's the same story that I heard. Just to kind of chime in on your scenario, because even in when I was I think I asked my medical terminology teacher the same shit about just helping random people, and she gave the same analogy. And she said, if you do help people and you're in the medical field, as you are and as I am, don't tell people. Just be a regular motherfucker. Don't say, hey, I'm a nurse, and hey,
nobody.
No.
And that's crazy because like most of the time that's what it is. Like you don't want anybody, if you even go visit somebody in a hospital, you don't want them to know that you're in the medical field. You're just a regular person. I mean, you're a regular person anyway. It's just a title, but
they're gonna hold you to a different standard, even if it's some outlandish shit. You save somebody's life, but
what if you're on there and you decide not to because it's too risky and they already know that you're in the medical field, then you can get sued for not doing anything then too.
Yeah, that's funky too. So it's like,
I'm
a
regular.
Wait.
I've had people ask.
Go ahead.
Because you take an oath.
Like, I've had people, when they ask me, are you in the medical field? I'll lie. I'd be like, no.
Because
I'll say no.
when you're answering questions or like they're talking to you and you're like, oh yeah, what about XYZ?
You get
you in the field?
That's why when you watch certain podcasts and shows, they be like, I'm not giving you medical advice. I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm not giving you advice on how to spend your money and all that type of financial advice. Covering their ass.
Yeah. because you literally could get, it's a catch-22.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always something, right? See, that's the problem with this world, though, dog. Everything
Money.
is
We going
connected
back to
to
money.
everything.
The money.
Again, everything is connected to money, dog. You can't even save a nigga, and if they know they can get something out of it, they gonna do it. Like this nigga risked his life to save my life, but they said I can sue this nigga for even touching me anyway. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, people don't care about nothing but the bag, dog. You'll be like, damn, I just saved you. I just saved you, and you suing me for everything. You leaving me on the streets, you know what I mean, to have nothing, and I just gave everything. Like you just gave up everything to save somebody. Don't that make sense? You just gave up everything to save somebody, and that's what we live in today. Any little thing.
That shit's insane, but it is what it is.
It is insane. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Motherfucker risk they shit to save you, and you suing them because they said you can. Whew.
That goes back to what I said. It's Pablo Chalk said that goes back to what I said in the beginning about living in a monetary society. True.
Very true.
I want to say thanks to everybody that tuned in. Everybody in the chat, Coop, Pablo Chalk, whomever else is watching and who contributed to the conversation. Thanks, and follow us and
This
stay
is
with
our
us.
footprint.
Like and
This is our
subscribe.
footprint.
Yeah, like and subscribe and share with people. And we appreciate, y'all rocking with us, so we do what we do. On that note, we're gonna say peace. And the show was great. Y'all got anything last words you want to say before we go ahead and get up out of here?
Yeah, I hope if I ever, when I do go pass on, and it's a footprint, I hope my children watch every show except for the sex one.
Highest rated show we got.
Except for that one.
Yep.
No, it was a good show. I think that you gave me stuff to think about afterwards, actually. Obligation.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm gonna say peace. Everybody be good. And this is your brother Mordeeb, and this is POD, Put Out Direct Talk Show. Peace.
Peace.